Hey everyone, this is Candace. Welcome back to day 74 of my 100-day health challenge. I am one day away from day 75 and literally about 26 days away from 100. It's difficult today because I'm still sick and I still am feeling pretty miserable, and it's just been a rough day. And I know you're probably were hoping for something a little bit more encouraging than that, but, and I know it seems like it's interesting to me, just like when you're sick, you're already dealing with that. And then, but it seems like when you're sleeping and when you're resting, and even when you try to do things to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, everything negative seems to come up. Every negative thought spirals into like the worst thing that can happen because you're being sick, even though it's totally out of your control. There's just this, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough being sick. And I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed, which doesn't help us get any better while we're sick. I'm already sick and I'm trying to get better and take care of myself. And at the same time, then I have to battle all the negative thoughts that come up and all the just discouragement that I'm sick again. I'm doing so well in my health overall that it's times like this when I get sick again that it's almost like it's dragging me back down to try to remind me of my place or something, like that's what it feels like sometimes. And so it's been a fight this semester, this year, every time I've gotten sick, to fight that traditional feeling. If I know I may not be totally making sense here, maybe some of you totally get this, but it's like when you are sick, almost basically either you are or you essentially, so how should I say this? When you're actually diagnosed as chronically ill, or you basically are, but there's not really an official diagnosis for you, or there's just things you deal with year after year, it is so frustrating because you get into these habits of how you handle things or don't handle things well when you're sick. And it's definitely felt like the last few years that every time I feel like I'm getting better, I get sick again. And I'm definitely improved by far. Like, I've got to be honest with myself, and I really am so much better. From where I am now versus like basically almost 7 years ago now. This is incredible. 7 years ago, I was basically not able to get off the couch or the bed. Essentially I wasn't able to get out of bed, but maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And if I did, I basically ended up on a couch somewhere exhausted and drained and couldn't do anything. So yes, I'm far beyond that. I was able to get a job, a couple years after that when I started recovering. But it's frustrating because it feels like times like this where things are going well and you're getting better, it feels like negativity in the world around you just try to drag you back down. And essentially it feels like it's trying to show you your place, as if there's some place you belong and that you're reaching above where you should be, and that you're trying to get above your lot in life or something. And I know people would say this is being faithless or hopeless or whatever, but that's not even it. It's a battle. There have certainly been times in past years where I've struggled with it, but where I'm at now, I'm encouraged in a lot of ways. So it's hard because being sick like this brings up memories. And I think that's the hard part, is no matter how far you come, scars ache in storms. And things, when they're going well, sometimes you hit a storm and every ache and pain and scar from the past just seems to surface, and it hurts. It hurts so bad, and it just tears at you, and it tries to, and this is partly fear, and I think evil, that tries to, when you're doing good and when you're doing what you were created to do and when you're doing well, it tries to drag you back down because it's scared of your potential. And I don't mean that in an arrogant, selfish way of that, oh, I can do everything by myself, because heck no, I can't. But I do think that when you're doing well and you're doing the right things and you are helping people and you're helping others and like family and friends, and you're making a difference in people's lives, this is when it drags you back down. And no, sickness is not within our control. We can do everything we can to take care of ourselves and sometimes still get sick. But that's when it's like the world tries to remind you of the past, and that and tries to make you believe that you're never gonna get past this point. And so I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I think it's important to talk about, because this doesn't just go away. Like I said, I've been, and this is only part of the journey, but I've been on this particular health journey for almost 7 years. And this is the farthest I've come, and I'm very happy with where I am in ways, and I'm also very discouraged about where I'm at in ways. And I'm also very looking forward to what's next. And I do think this is I know it's some of the best progress I've ever made, and I do believe it's sustainable. But I also know that it's a fight. It's a fight every day to choose to continue to make these habits until they stick, because old habits, whether by choice or not, they're there, and scars are there, and these memories and pain and negativity are there. And so being sick, and every time I'm sick more than I thought I would be, every time I think I'm doing better and then I'm sick again, and it's sometimes, fear just spirals out of control and makes you think of all the worst case scenarios of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be back there 7 years ago where I couldn't move, couldn't do anything, didn't see the world hardly at times. And then other times it spirals you and thinks, if I keep on like this, then what's next? What's going to happen with my family, my job, my friends, all of these things that it spirals out of control, and you get so scared, and it just makes you feel worse and doesn't help recovery when you are sick. But it's also just it shows the depth of our stories and where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go. And I think it's so, and this is not, I really hope I'm not trying to make this so negative, because the truth is that I'm in such a better place. I'm in such a better place to fight this and to know how to handle it, but also know how to ask for help with it. And it's just that today, in the midst of being sick again, and probably going to be still not great tomorrow, it's just hard to see the positivity in things, and it just brings up all these bad memories. And so I think one thing I wanted to talk about was just how it's hard to even feel like this can be positive, because right now I'm just right in the middle of it, and I'm exhausted and I'm drained and I just feel so discouraged. But yet there's a part of me that has never given up fighting and won't give up fighting, because I've come so far, and I truly believe that I have lots more to do. And so I think that it's important to talk about. I know I'm rambling some, but I don't know. I hope in some ways, I don't know that I don't hope you feel like this, but I hope that if you have had this happen, that you understand what I'm saying, and that you can come to a place where, like me, where right now you feel so discouraged, but that you know that it's not the end, that you know this is not the ultimate feeling. You know that this discouragement won't last. You know that the morning will come. Night doesn't last forever. And storms don't last forever. So I want to encourage you that to choose to keep going and to choose to be positive, because it would have been so easy today. And I did in some ways just kind of rest. But it was, my mind was running a mile a minute, and I had to, or a million miles a minute is really what it felt like. And I had to choose to stop those thoughts. I had to choose to stop the spiral of negativity and of discouragement and of these worst case scenarios that, when I really look at them, are pretty ridiculous. But it's just what your fear tells you. It's what your mind and your heart and your fears try to tell you, and what the world tries to tell you. And so I would just encourage you, because this was not intended to be all about the negative. What I really wanted to just tell you was to hang in there, and to keep going, because it doesn't last forever. It feels like it sometimes, and all those scars on top of it, the aches and the pains from the past that it brings up, the memories, they don't last forever, and you've healed from those, and maybe you still have healing to do. I know I sure do. I think we all do. But it's not the end. It's not everything's negative. Look how far we've come. Look how far you've come, and how far you have yet to go. And the same thing for me. Look how far I've come, and look how far I have to go. And yes, I'm exhausted and drained and tired, but I chose to distract myself from those negative thoughts. I chose to listen to some music today. I chose to pray. I chose to read. I chose to try to just rest, but sing to myself so that I was resting, but I wasn't. And then as I was falling asleep, I was not focusing on all the negative. And so I think I hope this is somewhat of an encouragement to you to just choose to be positive and to keep going. And sometimes you just need to break, and you just need to sit and let yourself recover, both from current sickness and then also just from whatever memories or negativities it brings up. And you are worth it to take that time and to let yourself rest and just be better. And I don't mean that in a perfectionist way, but I mean to just let yourself heal in the temporary and the long run. So I don't know. I'm sure this is rambling. I'm sure this seems like a hardly pieced together video, and it's just me rambling in some ways, but I really do just want you to know that you're not alone when you feel these things. It's so easy to feel like, why keep going with some of these things, because I'm just going to suck at it. But it's not true. It's not true. You don't suck at it. That's just what fear tells you. And so stick with it. Hang in there. Keep doing what you're doing. If things do change, if people do accuse you of stuff when you're sick or whatever, to say you're not, that you should be doing more, or that you're not perfect or whatever, well, they may not be the best people to have in your life right now. And if things do change because of it, that are out of your control, well, just know that that's not the end, and you're not defined by one thing you are or do. There's more to you than just one dimension. You have so many beautiful parts of you. And so I just would encourage you to not let negativity drag you down, and to find an outlet to put it into, to listen to music, to watch something, to read something, to write something, whatever it may be. If you're resting, to just distract your mind with the positive, to pray, to contemplate things, whatever it may be, and to just not let yourself be dragged down. So I don't know, I hope something in this made sense and was encouraging. I am looking forward to tomorrow. There's a part of me that's not, because I'm still sick, but I do still look forward to my 75-day check-in, and I'm not done. You're going to keep seeing me in one way or another. I'm still going to be here, and I'm still going to be doing things, and I'm not going to let it get me down completely, or at least I'm not going to let it keep me down. It may get me down, but I'm not staying here. I'm going to keep going. So I'm worth it. there's people in my life that are worth it, and there's people who are not in my life yet, but who will be, who are worth it too. So, all right, you guys are awesome, and I really just hope and pray that this day has been good for you. And if it's not, that you will be like me and you will strive to not let the negativity drag you down. So, all right, I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully with a positive and more coherent video. So, all right, bye.